All right, I am going to use a different deck for Earth. Let's move into Earth, and we're going to have the same conversation. Again, I have shuffled these, but just to ensure that we're randomly doing this, we're going to do this. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the strengths of you and your partner. All right. Oh. Okay, Earth, you are really grounded, and there are no coincidences in tarot. You got the Tower, Earth. So your foundation is being shaken a bit. Some change has come or is about to come that A, you may not be prepared for, and B, might come as a surprise. But never forget, the Tower shows up when things need to change. And so perhaps that's really the time to pay attention to the signs and signals that are over here that, you know, we might, just like the Four of Cups, I did kind of put those back in the deck, but just like the Four of Cups, am I really paying attention to what I need to be paying attention to? So I always say, don't let these more profound major arcana cards scare us. It is always better to have a feeling something is coming and be an agent of change than to be the victim of it. But let me tell you what your partner's doing. Your partner, Earth, is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, you know, I often say she can be too blunt, but she is going to tell us the truth. She's going to stand in the truth, not be afraid to say the truth, and being the leader she is going to guide us through this situation. So I think that, you know, the strength that we have here is understanding that this too shall pass. The star will come after this. And sometimes we just got to take our lumps and bumps in life and move forward. And you're going to do it together. You know, I'm really getting that quite strongly with the Queen of Swords coming in here. You have each other's back. And whatever this situation is, you can make it through this with using logic and common sense, with that air coming in, that sword energy of being able to logically put the pieces together to solve the situation. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to look at challenges, so maybe this is going to get a little better. All right, challenges for you and challenges for your partner. And we are solidly in our earth signs, and we're talking about earth signs right now. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I'm sorry, I don't think I said that when I started. So you earth signs, Ace of Pentacles, home, health, stability. You know, this, I don't even look as a challenge. You know, this to me is, you know, almost like the flip-flop of the strength. And maybe these are the things that the Tower is saying, okay, you really need to be working more towards this solidarity. But I want to show you what your partner is also thinking about. The Knight of Pentacles, which is movement forward. You know, the Knights are telling us things are changing, things are moving. But look what our Knight of Pentacles, so solid. And the slowest moving Knight too, waiting for things to grow. Being a shepherd of what's happening. He's got the map. And he's got the map to the Ace of Pentacles right there. So your challenge, guys, you are stepping up. Your partner's stepping up, and your hope is coming back into the scene after the Tower moment. I love this. And growth. You know, and perhaps that's truly what shaking the foundation is about, is that it's time for some growth. And that can only strengthen the relationship, right? That can only make things better. As you dream and you plan and you really get into what makes us a home. And I'm not talking about brick and mortar. I'm talking about the emotions, the connection, the commitment to each other, and it's really strongly here for you. And you know, follow some guidance and trust. You know, this is about building trust too, right here. And that may be the challenge, is opening yourself up enough to trust. But your partner's the Queen of Swords is showing up. You know, they're going to be able to talk to you and impart their feelings and where their thoughts are about the future clearly and with transparency and love. All right, I like this very much, you know, especially with that tower showing up again. I just, you know, we're not getting away from it yet, which is just so interesting to me. So let's look at the future. Let's see where we're at with the future. And again, I'm going to just randomize this. And we're going to see, you know, just a pathway here. 10 of Cups. Bang on, folks. 10 of Cups. This is about as good as it can get, Earth signs. You know, look at the family. Look at the beautiful surroundings, the rainbow, the speckles of light and happiness. And we have a happy couple here. And, you know, gender doesn't matter, but we have a happy couple here with a family, an extended family. And that can look like whatever it looks like to you. Grab onto that. So the future that you're working through, especially understanding that, you know, we're going to get through this tower moment with logic, with love, with staying grounded, with really talking about, you know, building that map together, you know, finding your compass. You know, you really are going to be able to talk this through and come up with a plan together. So the ultimate outcome is this beautiful 10 of Cups. And this is the only cup you guys got, which I love that this is the future. This is what you're building to. All right, I think that's positive. You know, some things to kind of think about and work through. Switching decks again. We're going to go